have more bloopers than content here.
Hi friends, welcome back or welcome if you're new here. My name is Stacy and I am the Chapter Conundrum, and today I've enlisted the help of my husband Jake, the Bookish Drummer, to help me announce a fun Discord read-along that's going to be happening on our Discord in 2025. You want to tell the people what it is?
It's your read-along. You do it.
All right, well, I got together with Fina from Fina Reads and Ian from Ian the Reader because we all decided that we wanted to read more John Mars. And so we decided we were going to do a read along of all of the John Mars books. And if you didn't know, John Mars kind of has two separate types of books. So one type is set in one of his series of interconnected books that are kind of standalones but set in the same universe. And those I'm going to call books in the one universe. So they do like spoil the ones that come before them, but it's like no context one line spoilers. So it's not like imperative that you read the other ones, but there is a reading order if you're somebody who's very detailed and remembers like every detail and you absolutely want to completely avoid the possibility of remembering or latching onto any details to be spoiled for future ones. So the read along will have those in pub order to avoid that for anyone who's worried about it. But then he also has true standalone books that are more like domestic thrillers. Oh, I didn't say, but like the one universe ones are more like sci-fi thrillers. Anything else to add, dear?
No, but y'all are trying your best to rope me into this whole thing.
Oh, you're already roped in. Come on.
I can tell you right now, there's no way I'm reading 13 John Mars books.
Well, that's the beauty of this read along. You don't have to read all 13. You can hop in and out when you want. They're all standalones.
I've also already read 2 of these books. I've really liked one of them, which we'll talk about, and then I didn't really like the other one. So we'll get into it.
Okay. Well, I know which 2 you've read, and I know which one you loved, so.
Yeah, but we're going to go back and forth. I think basically I'm going to talk about a lot of the standalones, and you're going to talk a lot about the universe ones.
Well, they're all standalones in the same universe, so they're all standalones.
Yeah, but the way you explained it,
yeah.
There's some standalones, and then there's some standalone-ish books.
Standalones with connections.
Yeah.
So for the most part, we're going to be doing 1 book a month, but he does have a new book coming out next year, which will put his total published book count at 13. And so we're going to be doing 2 in the month of March because his new one drops in March and it's not connected to the other ones.
Okay.
Would you like to start us off with January, dear?
Sure. The first book, which I may or may not read, is When You Disappeared by John Mars, of course.
Oh, do we have to say by John Mars for every one of these?
So for a lot of these books, I'm going to be learning about them as y'all are learning about them. On the cover here, it says, all she wanted was the truth, but she'll wish she never found it. And then on the back here, very clear indication of what this book's going to be about. Catherine's husband was missing, presumed dead. Now he's standing on her doorstep. So presumed dead husband kind of shows back up. What's going to happen after that?
Yeah, I'm curious. I need to know.
Yeah.
So this is one of his domestic thrillers. That's a true standalone, by the way.
So if that at all sounds interesting, check it out in January.
Yeah, join us. Read it.
Are you trying to tell me to read it?
Read it.
I'll let y'all be the guinea pigs.
Okay. So we decided to do a true standalone every other month and then a universe one every other month. And so the February pick is our first universe book, and that is The One. And the premise of this is that you have DNA testing to decipher who your true love or your one true match is supposed to be. And we have 5 POVs. So we're following 5 couples who are matched, but in a couple of them, things seem to be a bit off.
Now, I will admit, this is one of the ones that I am interested in.
I think you're interested in it because I told you one of the POVs is like a serial killer matched with a police officer.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the first one set in the universe.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I am going to read this one.
Good. Read it.
Okay. So in March, there's going to be 2 books because one of these is an older book and then one of them is going to be his newest release.
Yes, and both of them are true standalones.
The first one, the older one, is called The Vacation. And again, like with some of y'all, I don't really know what this is about, but I'll read the back of it. It says, "How far would you run to escape your past? Venice Beach, Los Angeles, a paradise on earth. Tourists flock to the Golden Coast in the promise of Hollywood. But for 8 strangers at a beachfront hostel, there's far more on their minds than an extended vacation. All of them are running from something, and they all have secrets they'd still like to keep."
I like a book where everyone has secrets.
Yep. And with one of the books that we've both read that we'll talk about in a minute, a lot of those characters had secrets and they got revealed throughout the book, and that was a fun time. So kind of a similar idea, but obviously this is much different. But yeah, this one also sounds intriguing.
Yes.
I could potentially read this one as well.
Good.
And then his newest book, which comes out March, I don't know if this
March
is
3rd or 4th, I forget.
okay, early March, is called "You Killed Me First." I was gonna say by John Mars. Duh.
You think?
Yeah. Again, don't know anything, but I'm gonna read the synopsis for y'all. 3 women, 3 smoldering secrets. Again, this guy likes secrets, apparently.
And I like reading them.
Who will make it out alive? It's November 5th, and a woman awakens to a nightmare. Bound and gagged, she lies trapped in the heart of a towering bonfire. As the smoke thickens, panic sets in. She's moments away from being engulfed in flames. How did it come to this? Rewind 11 months. Margot, a faded TV star, and her long-suffering friend Anna watch as glamorous Liv and her flawless family move into their street. The 3 women soon fabricate the perfect pretense of friendship, but each harbors her own deadly secret.
Secret.
Yeah.
Secret.
And newcomer Liv senses something is terribly wrong beneath the polished exteriors. As cracks widen in the veneer of perfection and lies escalate out of control, tension ignites. Bonfire night is approaching and someone is set to burn. But who will it be? Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun.
And early reviews are pretty positive, and they confirm that this is a true standalone.
I know it's early, but Goodreads ratings is 4.58. So a lot of people who have read it early are really enjoying it.
Yes. And then in the month of April, we get to read one of my all-time favorite thrillers, and that would be The Passengers. And this follows a bunch of characters in self-driving cars, and their cars are hijacked and set on a collusion course with each other. And then this hijacking is like broadcast to the public to get their opinions on who should live or who should die. And you're slowly learning more and more about each of the characters in this situation. And it's fun to form opinions and then have them potentially change or stay the same or confirm your suspicions, all that kind of stuff.
So we've both read this one. I think you gave this book 5 stars. I also really enjoyed this book. I gave it 4.5 stars. And the reason why I loved it is that you get all these great characters and you get all these great character reveals throughout. Like you've got opinions on some of them, but then something happens. You're like, oh, this is how the person is. So I really liked it for that. And it's very fast paced and pulse pounding.
And bingeable.
Very good thriller book.
Perfect for a readathon.
I probably won't read it though because I've already read it.
I'm going to read it again. I don't care. But yes, and we're probably planning a readathon in April. So
good readathon pick.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect for a readathon.
Next up in the month of May, we're going to be doing The Good Samaritan. And again, let's find out what this book is about. On the cover it says, "Can you trust the voice at the end of the line?" And there's a telephone, so someone's calling someone and they don't know if they can be trusted. And the tagline is, "She's a friendly voice on the phone, but can you trust her?" The people who call end of the line need hope. They need reassurance that life is worth living, but some are unlucky enough to get through to Laura. Laura doesn't want them to hope. She wants them to die.
So is this like a suicide hotline?
I guess. And Laura's just like, fuck this. we are about to mess with some people, I guess. Laura hasn't had it easy. She's survived sickness and a difficult marriage, only to find herself heading for 40, unsettled and angry. She doesn't love talking to people, worse off than she is. She craves it. But now someone's onto her. Ryan, whose world falls apart when his pregnant wife ends her life, hand in hand with a stranger. Who was this man, and why did they choose to die together? The sinister truth is within Ryan's grasp, but he has no idea of the desperate lengths Laura will go to. Because the best thing about being a good Samaritan is that you can get away with murder. This is a very weird idea for a book. Like someone's, I guess, is working at a suicide hotline, but they're trying to convince people to commit suicide.
Either that or they just thrive off knowing that they don't have it the worst off.
And then someone like knows what she's doing, and I don't know. It's very weird. I'm intrigued by this one, I will admit.
Are you gonna read it?
It's a possibility.
You should read it.
Maybe.
And then in June, we're back to a universe book, and the next one is The Minders. And I don't know a ton about the direction that the plot goes in this one, but I do know that the idea behind this is that you have 5 people who are like genetically coded to remember every secret, because this is an age of like hackers and sensitive information can't be left online. So these 5 people collectively know like every secret possible about like government cover-ups and conspiracy theories. So it should be interesting to see where this goes plot-wise.
So the next book for July is Her Last Move, and a lot of his a lot of his covers kind of have similar taglines. Like it'll be like a big title, and then it'll be like a small tagline. And this one says, "She's chasing a killer. He's watching her." So the summary here says, he hides in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment. Each kill is calculated, planned, and executed like clockwork. Struggling to balance her personal and professional life, young D.S. Becca Vincent has landed the biggest case of her career, and she knows that it will make or break her. But how can she identify one face in a sea of thousands? With the help of police super recognizer Joe Russell, whatever that means, she strives to catch a glimpse of the elusive murderer, but he's watching her every move. Time is not on their side. The body count is rising, and the attacks are striking closer and closer to home. Can Becca and Joe uncover the connection between the murders before the killer strikes the last name from his list? That one does sound intriguing.
Sounds like a fun game of cat and mouse.
Yeah. I will say so far the standalones kind of seem more interesting to me than the actual universe stuff. Besides the Passengers, because that was great.
Oh.
But we'll see.
It's all great. That's why we're going to read it all. And then in August, we're going to be going back to another universe book. And this one is The Marriage Act. And from what I know of this is a near future scenario in where a very right-wing government is in power. And they've basically made this act where you basically should be married, or they're doing things to punish people who are single. And I know that this has heavy themes of government surveillance and like what happens when the government gets involved in like very personal things to people. So this one should be interesting.
This book sounds very frustrating to me because this sounds like an awful world.
So, I mean, anytime a government oversteps on regulating people, it never ends well. Things are always going to go wrong, right? So it should be interesting to see how this all shakes out.
So the book we're reading in September is What Lies Between Us. And the summary here, which I'm learning for the first time, they say every house has its secrets, and the house that Maggie and Nina have shared for so long is no different, except that these secrets are not buried in the past. Every other night, Maggie and Nina have dinner together. When they are finished, Nina helps Maggie back to her room in the attic and into the heavy chain that keeps her there. Oh boy.
Every other night? Why every other night? I need to know.
Because Maggie has done things to Nina that can't ever be forgiven, and now she is paying the price. But there are many things about the past that Nina doesn't know, and Maggie is going to keep it that way, even if it kills her. Because in this house, the truth is more dangerous than lies. So yeah, what the hell?
I need answers. I need to know. I'm intrigued.
I'm also intrigued. Yeah, all these standalones sound really compelling to me. He should just stick with standalones.
You're doing the read-along.
I'm doing the ones that I want to do.
Okay.
Some of these sound more interesting than the others, and that one definitely sounds intriguing.
Okay.
But yeah, let us know if that's intriguing to you.
And in October, we're going to be reading the most current universe book, and that is The Family Experiment. And the premise of this is that we're in a situation of massive overpopulation and crowding. So the government has laws about, I guess, who can have kids and when. And to kind of satiate people's desire for parenthood or raising children, there's this company who has come up with kind of like virtual kids that you can raise in a VR headset. And somebody makes a reality TV show out of this experience, and I think follows 10 couples who are raising a virtual child. And this, for me, makes me think of like Tamagotchis, but like to the next level with virtual children.
This book just sounds weird.
It sounds weird, but I'm so intrigued.
Also, like, not appealing. Like, I don't want. I don't no. I mean, just the scenario.
Oh.
Like, I don't want kids, and I don't want virtual kids either.
But I want to read about people who have this experience.
And then also, like, reality show. Like, you've been watching so much reality show. I don't need this in my life.
It's funny. Like, I usually am not much of a TV watcher, but when I'm sick or just when I'm really tired, like, trash TV. Yes, please.
Freaking what? Love is Blind and
Hey, Love is Blind is really entertaining.
It's so much drama.
It's really entertaining, though.
So the next one for November, I have actually read, and you haven't.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Keep It in the Family by John Mars. I keep saying that. But anyway, I have actually read this book. I'll read you kind of the back a little bit.
You have to read the back when you've already read it?
I don't know how to summarize this book without
spoiling
it.
Okay.
But also just what I will say is that I had kind of a bad time with this book. I would recommend not doing the audiobook, because the audiobook, the way it's narrated, kind of spoils like the whole twist of it. So definitely read this book physically.
Also, I remember you saying that there's like chapter headings that have like article things, and the audiobook had some of them but not all of them.
Yeah, the audiobook was weird. Don't do the audiobook.
Okay, so there you go. Recommended here first. Do not do the audio. But what's the premise?
I had to read the back.
Oh,
Mia and Finn are busy turning a derelict house into their dream home when Mia unexpectedly falls pregnant. But just when they think the house is ready, Mia discovers a chilling message scored into a skirting board. I will save them from the attic. Following the clue up into the eaves, the couple make a gruesome discovery. Their dream home was once a house of horrors. So that's all I'm going to say for there, because it might spoil other stuff. But basically, this couple moves into a house, and they figure out that some weird and strange stuff happened. And
interesting.
You go from there.
Interesting.
And I will say that the premise itself was pretty good. But yeah, just skip the audiobook, because it kind of ruined the whole thing.
The title is giving me some potential theories too. Keep It in the Family? Maybe?
We'll see.
Intrigued. And then in December, we're going to be reading The Stranger in Her House. And the premise of this one is that you have an elderly lady who has somebody kind of like come in for basic caregiving tasks. But I think it's her daughter is also there. And basically the daughter just feels like this caregiver stranger is just kind of getting a little bit too involved. And she starts to kind of bring that up with, I'm assuming, her mom. And her mom obviously is like relying more and more on this caregiver as time goes on. And it just creates an interesting relationship dynamic that doesn't go well for everybody.
Okay. This seems like the most, like, kind of straightforward, realistic premise out of all his. Like, it just seems kind of normal. Like, a lot of his books have, like, okay, so in this world, like, this is a thing, and then, but, like, this one's just kind of like, yeah, this could happen.
Yeah, but you know it's John Mars, so there's going to be some interesting twist to this premise for sure. So they all have secrets. Come on.
The old lady is a robot from the future.
Oh, babe. So let me know down below in the comments, are you excited to join in this read along and read any of these with us? You definitely don't have to do them all. You can kind of pick and choose. They are all standalones, and we'll designate in each chat as a reminder to like which ones are universe. We'll have the schedule posted on the Discord somewhere. I'm guessing we're gonna make a new heading.
And for you, but also for the audience, what are you the most excited to read for this read along? What are you the most excited for?
Ooh.
Besides your reread of The Passengers will be fun, but what of the newer ones that you haven't read yet?
You're not going to agree with this answer, but I think I'm most excited to read The Family Experiment.
That one's like the least excited. It's like reality TV, robot children. No, thank you.
It sounds interesting. Either that or The Marriage Act. They both sound really interesting.
Is that one also in the universe one?
Mm-hmm. That's the one where they punish people for being single, and the government's overstepping and monitoring people to figure out whether they're single or married or what.
The one that I just had the most questions about is the Good Samaritan, because this just like, what is this character doing? Like, why are they doing this? And what's their end goal? Like, I'm the most intrigued by this one.
Okay. So if you're interested in reading any of these books along with us, the link to join the Discord is down below in the description. It's the Bookish Drummer Discord. And we hope to see you there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe on your way out if you want to, and have a great day. Bye. So we decided to kind of order this with like every other month. So we're doing like the true standalones every other month. And then
what is this? This is what we're doing, okay? This is how it's gonna go.
It's supposed to be every other.
Every other. What is this?
I talk with my hands sometimes, okay? It happens.
It's your little flippers. Oh, God. Ozzy's just staring at us like these lunatics.
What is wrong with you?
Okay. Can we go on after that?
I think so. So,
immediately start laughing again. Jeez. Put your serious face on, ma'am.
I don't have one of those.
Well, you better find one. Oh, baby.
Okay. I'm gonna stop looking at Ozzy. And you. Oh.
Are you done yet?
No, I'm not ready yet.
I'm not done either, apparently. Just don't start making hand gestures.
And then it just... Really, babe? Really?
I had to do it again.
Really? That's gonna be our thumbnail.
What a terrible thumbnail. John Mars read along. What is this, an inside joke? Like, does John Mars do this? Like, is it one of his book covers?
Oh no.
Oh, they get a choice, but I don't.
Yep, that's how it works.
What the hell?
Because I want to talk to you about them all.
You have Ian and Josephina.
We don't want to talk to you too.
Oh, Lord. That should be the thumbnail. You're over there like happily like, yay! I'm just like,
you in.